Most of us know how to write goals in a planner, but have you ever reached a goal and still felt empty? That's because goals without God can become just another list of pressures. Today, I actually want to share with you why goal setting with God at the center completely changes the way that we dream, plan, and live. Hello, this is Nadia, and this is She Builds Again, a space for women who are daring to build new dreams and set new goals with faith. The first thing I want to talk about in this video is that there are just so many things that are outside of our control in life. There is this saying that man plans and God laughs, because we can set all of the intentions, we can visualize, we can try to manifest, we can do all the things, we can put every single detail in our planner, and then there are just so many things outside of our control that we cannot predict. I've heard stories of people, for instance, on Instagram, and they are living these really healthy lives. They are eating all the right things. They're eating protein. They're counting their macros. They are hydrating all the time. They're exercising, and still they fall ill and they get cancer or they get all these things. Even though we can do all the right things and have healthy habits and set our schedule and our planner up for success, there are still things that are outside of our control that we have to leave a little bit of wiggle room for. There are deaths in the family, there are tragedies that happen, there are accidents, and life can sometimes just be unpredictable. And I think non-God way of doing things is that we just visualize and things are going to manifest in our lives and appear, but it doesn't really work that way, because sometimes we have the goal and we want to be focused, and then our kids get sick or we get sick or something happens and our schedule just gets completely changed in regards to other people. We have a nanny right now, and she's the best nanny ever, and we love her, and she's so good to our kids. But she's recently told us that she's trying to move overseas for a different opportunity, and we have to let her go, even though we love her and we'll miss her. And that's throwing a wrench in our plans too, because now we have to think of a new situation with childcare. We have to introduce our 18-month-old daughter to a new nursery. And so all that to say, there is just a certain element of things that we cannot control. We cannot control other people. We cannot control, in general, accidents or things in life that can be hard. That is definitely one of the major whys, because not everything is in our control, whether we like it or not. The next thing I want to talk about is the fact that we get to go deeper and consider our bigger purpose and legacy, and not just the thing itself. So when we set goals with God, it's not just about the six figures. It's not just about the car that we want. It's not just about the trips and the travel. It's also about, why do we want these things? We have to question ourselves and actually get to the bigger crux, the bigger, deeper purpose behind the thing. Actually, I really want to go to Serbia because that's where my dad was from, and I really think it would be a healing part of my journey. Maybe we realize when we're examining and asking ourselves those deeper questions, and we invite God into those goals, that we don't actually need the things that we want. And I know that's a really hard pill to swallow, because sometimes things look so shiny and beautiful and exciting, but if we actually get that thing, it's not necessarily going to bring us joy and purpose and meaning. Sometimes it's just empty. And I think that's why we have to start to invite God into our goals and start to ask ourselves some deeper questions, so that these things, when we actually get them, are meaningful. Maybe that six figures is not just for you. Maybe that six figures is to provide your family with an amazing future, to provide your kids with an awesome education, to give you the dream house so that you can have Bible study, or maybe so that you can just invite all the kids from the neighborhood and give them this safe place for your kids and their kids to just hang out after school. That's definitely one of my whys. I want to have the fun house. It's not going to be a huge house, but I want to have a fun house, a space where it's safe and where kids can come after school and they're always welcome and it feels like home for them. One thing I'm realizing is that God actually cares more about our character and who we are developing into than any titles or accolades or positions or amounts of money that we could ever make. And so we always have to keep that in perspective. Like, God can shape us into an amazing person, and we could make $30,000 a year, or that money could distract us from his purposes if we're making 100,000 or 200,000 or a million. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that having more money means that you're not developing your character. I'm just saying that we have to look at the deeper why and how we're showing up When we get that car, are we acting entitled? Are we acting spoiled? Has it changed our character? Or are we still the same person? Are we still showing up, being kind, being generous, being thoughtful, being intentional and authentic? That really does matter. And I think that is what will determine if God blesses us or not. One of the reasons why it's so awesome to be able to set goals with God is that we learn to appreciate that the goal is just part of our larger journey and it's not a destination. At the end of the day, when you get to whatever that goal is, you're going to have a new goal. The stick is going to keep moving. And the reality is that it's about the journey. It's about going on that journey with God, making sure that we are learning all the things that we need to learn in this lifetime. And I think for me, I'm not going to sit here on a high horse and pretend like I'm perfect. I'm still on that journey and I am still learning how to trust him more and more, because like I've said in past videos, I've been disappointed for sure. I've wanted things that I thought were good. I've asked myself the questions, the whys, and I didn't get what I thought I wanted. And I realize now that for me in that moment, I was performing to be a good Christian. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but I realized that I was trying so hard to do things the right way, the good way. And at the end of the day, my heart was still in a place where it was hurting, it was bitter, it was not really releasing things to God, it was not letting Him into certain areas. So I was letting God into parts of my life, but not every single compartment of my life, not into my relationship, not into my finances. And so I'm literally in a space where I'm beginning again and trying to just go a little bit deeper with why I want certain things. A lot of our goals are already probably good and we have a deeper reason for why we want them, but it's just testing it a little bit. The way I see it is that we have to get to a place where we are allowing God to walk with us from point A to point B, and not just when we need Him, because, oh, I don't have the resources for the business, oh, I don't have the ideas for the business, I need you, God, I need you, God. And then when we actually get that business up and running and successful, to let go of Him, to let go of His hand. And I realized for sure in my past, that's what I was doing. I was clinging to Him when I needed things from Him, when I needed His provision, when I needed Him to open doors, when I needed Him to bring the clients. And then when I actually got further and further ahead, I was not really including Him in that mountaintop as well. I am trying this time to do things a little bit differently and trying to actually invite Him into every portion of this journey. So right now I'm in the beginning stages, and later I'll be in the middle stages and the end stages, and just making sure that at each stage of this new adventure that He is a part of it, and that I continue to figure out what it is that He's trying to teach me, how He's trying to mold me, and how He's trying to use that vision for His purposes, for His glory. What I will say is that when you set goals with God, it's not about doing more. It's actually about becoming more of who you're actually meant to be. It's not about pressure, but peace. So if this video spoke to you, please subscribe and join me next week as we keep on walking this journey of faith-filled, intentional living together.